What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I don't know where I'm wearing the headphones. I don't need. You know what? I'm gonna wear them because it makes me look like I'm like a professional or something. All right, guys. So here's what we're gonna do today. No, I'm not doing this way. I'll wear them. Okay. Basically, this might be weird. Anyways, let me get into the video. So we're going to be doing a complete roster breakdown on the Detroit Lions. Really, we're going to look through the roster. We're going to look at what they currently have. We're going to look at pending free agents and kind of just look at, okay, if none of the free agents returned, what would we be left with? Then we'll take a look at our needs, take a look at the salary cap, and then in other videos that we've already done or future videos, we'll look at prospects because I already have some videos lined up for that. So let's just get it started. As you guys can see on the screen, here we go. Okay, there's a lot here, so don't like get overwhelmed. Okay, don't get overwhelmed. Look on the furthest to the bottom to the right. I think it says upcoming free agents on your right. Actually, it'd be your left. On your left. Furthest on your left, it says upcoming free agents, and those are all the guys that are going to become free agents this offseason for the Detroit Lions. Mike Daniels, Danny Amendola, Tavon Wilson, Sam Martin, Rashawn Melvin, Jermaine Kearse, Ashawn Robinson, Oday Abushi, Don Muehlbach. I think that's Logan Thomas. I think that's Logan Thomas. Yep. Graham Glasgow, Miles Killebrew, J.D. McKissick, Jeff Driscoll, Darius Kilgo. Can't remember the first name for Meter. How do I not remember that? It's something Meter. Gosh dang it. The defensive lineman. Michael Ford and D. Virgin. Okay. Hello, darkness, my old friend. That are going to be free agents for the Detroit Lions this offseason. Now, we're not necessarily in this video going to go through, okay, who should we, well, I guess we could. But next to that, you see in kind of a weird picture, like a white box. I did this on Docs, and then I just kind of like screenshot it and threw it in here. I thought that would be the best way to do it. So I went through. I don't think anything's messed up. I mean, maybe like the lowest depth guys might be like the wrong guys because they change pretty often. But basically, those guys are the players that will be on the roster if none of those upcoming free agents were re-signed. So yeah, there's a good chance that a lot of these guys aren't re-signed. When we skim through it, I don't think Mike Daniels will. I would love for Danny Amendola to be re-signed, so that's one of those I would bring back. Tavon Wilson, I'm not exactly sure. I would be okay with re-signing him as well. You'll see why. Sam Martin, I would definitely bring him back. I don't know about Rashawn Melvin. Jermaine Kearse, probably not. Ashawn Robinson, no. Oday Abushi, Don Muehlbach, yes. Not Oday Abushi, probably not. Maybe for some depth later on. You could probably find a guy like that. Logan Thomas, you don't need him, but you could for depth. Graham Glasgow, it looks like the Lions are not going to. Miles Killebrew, I like him. I like him for special teams, so maybe. J.D. McKissick, maybe not, because we already have Bo Scarborough now. Jeff Driscoll, it really depends there on what happens with David Blau. If David Blau is our future, they believe he's the future, then yes. He's going to be out. We'll see. There's a lot to talk about with him. Darius Kilgo, maybe. I mean, a lot of these guys are just maybes, but they're not like super impactful players other than the few big names. So looking at their roster, we're going to skim through this and then I'll talk about a little bit what we're doing here. So you can see first defensive tackle. Imagine none of these upcoming free agents are re-signed, and we would be left with Damon Harrison, John Adkins, Kevin Strong, and it's either James or Olive. It's one of the two players. I looked at different sites and I've seen both players, so I'm not sure which is our next defensive tackle. But those are the three defensive tackle that would be remaining. Like I said, none of these guys returning, so that would mean there would be no Mike Daniels. There would be no Where's Ashawn Robinson, okay? There would be no Darius Kilgo. It would just be those guys. Inside linebacker would be Jared Davis, Lonnie Tavai, Benito, I think it's Benito, and Cabinda. And Cabinda was a linebacker that we got from the Raiders during the season, so he would still be here as well. At cornerback, we have Darius Slade, Justin Coleman, Jamal Agnew, Michael Ford, D. Virgin, Amani Oruwariye, and Michael Jackson, who a lot of people forget about Michael Jackson. At safety, we would have Tracy Walker, Will Harris, Howard, and Moore, CJ Moore. So that's what the safety looks like. Offensive tackle, we would have Taylor Decker, Rick Wagner, both tackles here. Taylor Decker, Rick Wagner, Dan Skipper, Mason Crosby, Matt Nelson, and I can't remember, something Tucker. At running back, we would then have Kerryon Johnson, Ty Johnson, Bo Scarborough. See how I did that? KJTYBO, because you can do that all of them. Okay. Trey Carson, who was really good until he got injured. Trey Carson, and Wes Hills. Then at the quarterback position, obviously Matthew Stafford, Jeff Driscoll, Sloter, and David Blau. Actually, hold up. Jeff Driscoll should not be in there. Now that I think about it, he should not be in there. No. Okay, ignore Jeff Driscoll. I don't know why he's still in there. Just take Jeff Driscoll and go like this. All right, are you okay? Okay, just do that. We'll keep that in our mind. You can see it over here too. He's right here. Well, you can't see that, but he's on the upcoming free agent side. At tight end, we would have TJ Hawkinson, Jesse James, Isaac Nauta, Butler, and Sokol. At wide receiver, we would have Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones, Travis Fulgham, Marvin Hall, Chris Lacey, Jonathan Duhart, and Bolden Jr. Over at defensive end, we'd have Flowers, Romeo Okora, Austin Bryant, Deshaun Hand, Jonathan Wynn, and Heron. Then at outside linebacker position, we would have Jones, Kennard, Longa, Reeves Maben, Anthony Pittman, and Christian Sam. I think it's Christian Sam. And then finally at guard and center, we'd have Joe Dahl, Benach, our new offensive lineman, Garnett from the 49ers. He was a free agent. Frank Ragnow, Bo Benshaw, and Bodine. Okay, some of these players I'm not exactly sure of because they're so far down the depth board we never saw them at all. But that's, other than Jeff Driscoll, I'm pretty sure that's correct of the players that we would have if none of our free agents were brought back. Now, on the side of that, you can see needs. So I'm taking needs here based on that roster. Based on that roster, no one's coming back. What are our needs? And potentially, should we bring some of these upcoming free agents back? So first need is my biggest need, defensive tackle. So as you guys can see here, I think this is a good way for me, because I think this is a better way for you guys to just see it rather than me talk about it. As you can see, defensive tackle, without A'Shawn Robinson, you're left with Snacks Harrison, John Adkins, Kevin Strong, and either James or Olive. I'm not sure which one it is. Don't really worry about that. Those are the three you're left with. Now, Snacks Harrison has a little, star thing next to him because Snacks is one of those players that I could see being cut. I could see him either being cut or potentially retiring, okay? And if that is the case with his age, he's talked about retiring, he's definitely something to worry about. So here I put next to needs defensive tackle, depth and talent. One, I think you're going to need two defensive tackles this year. You're going to have to go get two guys this year. And I think they can both be either high draft picks, big name free agents, whatever you want it to be. You need one really good one, and then you would need one that's at least serviceable. Another good one would be great, obviously. So defensive tackle, biggest need. Next up then at guard, I have a starter. Guard for me is still one of the biggest needs. I still think protecting Matthew Stafford is one of the most important things that we can do this offseason. As you guys can see in the guard side, this case, Graham Glasgow wouldn't be back, and I don't think the Lions will bring him back anyways. So then the guard position is kind of nasty, okay? Because there's not a lot of talent there. There's not a lot there. You can see it's pretty bad, okay? You're going to see guys like Joe Dahl. You're going to see Garnett, who we just signed. You'll see Frank Ragnow, Ben Shaw. I don't actually know. Actually, let me check right now. Kenny Wiggins is on his last deal as well, so he would be on upcoming free agent. So, actually, you guys aren't seeing this at the same time, so I'm actually just going to type in Wiggins. And, yeah, you won't notice, but I noticed because I'm typing it in right now, but you guys will see this afterwards, so I can still edit this and play around with it. Yep, because I'm cool like that. So, yeah. Wiggins is also one of the players that won't be returning. So he won't be here either unless we re-sign him. So guard position is definitely nasty, both left guard and right guard. Because left guard right now, it would be starting Joe Dahl. Right guard, I have no idea. Garnett, probably. Now, some people believe Garnett can be a starter. I'm not saying he can't. If he plays really good this offseason, the Lions will make that decision. But still, I want to make sure. I don't want a serviceable. I want a really good offensive line. And we need that by Stafford. We do have some good offensive linemen. Frank Ragnow, one of the best definitely our best offensive linemen. Right tackle, Rick Wagner, no. Right tackle, Rick Wagner, not there. Left tackle, Taylor Decker, yes, he's solid. The problem is you're losing out on Graham Glasgow, which is going to save you some money, but losing out on Graham Glasgow means that you need a left guard and a right guard. So even if you have Glasgow, you still might need a left guard. Now without him, you need a guard starter right away to go to that right guard spot. You could take the money you save, or you could just go draft one. And I think you should still get a left guard. So that's why that's the second need. Next up, offensive tackle. Now, this one I did it because of a Rick Wagner possible replacement. If you look at offensive tackle, you see Taylor Decker, Rick Wagner, Dan Skipper, Mason Crosby, Matt Nelson, and Tucker. Really at the top, Taylor Decker's a good left tackle, but right tackle, do you want Rick Wagner? Personally, I would be okay with trying to replace him, but if you feel like there's just so many needs they can't get to it, okay, it is what it is. But Wagner, very bad offensive lineman for us. He's been bad, definitely unfortunate. He's aging now, injuries. If we can replace him, I would do it. I'm just saying. That's why he comes so high. Next up, cornerback. This one is really because of Darius Slay. I do believe that Amani Oruwariye will probably get a lot of time next season. He played really well. Now, obviously, it wasn't meaningful for us, but for the teams we're going against, a lot of those games were, and he played really, really well. He actually came up with an interception. Amani was so good at times. He was our best cornerback in those games by Pro Football Focus. So I think can get a lot of time next year. Justin Coleman, he's the slot cornerback, so he's good where he is. Now, Darius Slay is the big question here. If Darius Slay is traded, this becomes maybe your first or second biggest need. Because now Amani's your one and Coleman's your slot. You really don't have a two other than Michael Ford, Jamal Agnew. Like, come on, we know Agnew ain't that great. Ford is definitely questionable. So in that case, we definitely need to get a cornerback, and especially if Slay is gone. Now, Slay stays. He doesn't have to go. He is on the final year of his contract, and the Lions need to win. So whether or not we extend him or he just stays, you would have Slay at the outside, Coleman in the slot, very similar to last year, actually the same. Amani would be your two for now because Rashawn Melvin is gone. I think at this point, you could go get another corner or you could rock with that. It's really up to you. But Amani and Slay would be your 1 and 2. All right, next up, we have the safety, and I think that you just need some depth here. Will Harris and Tracy Walker got a lot better. They're improving slowly, and not slowly, but they're young. They're improving, and I think getting another safety in there would be great. Like I said, when I looked at, Tavon Wilson, we could bring him back because I would love to have a veteran in there, either a veteran or another rookie, someone, but I think you need a third safety. CJ Moore's okay. Howard, don't really know much about him, but I know Tracy Walker is going to be really good for us. I think next year is going to take a huge leap. Will Harris should be a little bit better, and I think another safety needs to be mixed in there because either way, whether it's a veteran or a rookie, you need more than two safeties. You need more than two go-to safeties, okay? Especially with how many defensive backs we use, you need to have that and for depth because injuries will happen. All right, next up we have inside linebacker. Now, I just have depth here. You see Jared Davis, Delani Tavai, Cabinda. I think you got to add some depth to that for sure. It's really comes down to what the Lions think of Jared Davis and Jelani Tavai. Jelani Tavai is good. It's really just Jared Davis. What are you going to do with Jared Davis? You got a new linebacker coach. Is he going to rock with Davis, or is he going to say, okay, we got to find a replacement because he can't get it done? I don't know. Or maybe he just becomes a depth player. But I do, for some reason, I have a feeling he's going to be here next year. And with that, I think we definitely have to go get some depth guys, though. Okay, even you could go get a big name, but I don't know if it's a big need as the other ones. Outside linebacker is up next. And, you might be able to move outside linebacker up here. But Devon Kennard is so good at outside linebacker. I didn't make it such a huge need because he can both cover and he gets tons of pressure. Kennard is really good, okay? But you need someone with Devon Kennard, with the defense that we play. So if you look at the bottom now of the picture, you can see where I put the Lions defense. So Lions run a multiple defense, which means they mix in pretty much anything imaginable. And the nickel they run it, I guess, according to Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia, like 70% of the time. That is their main thing, if you want to call it anything. They run out of the nickel, either a 3-3-5 or a 2-4-5, which are your main looks from the Lions, which is true because if you look at this picture here in the corner, you can see they are lined up currently in the 3-3-5. You see 3 linebackers, 2 edge guys, and Davis in the middle with 3 down linemen, and then they have 5 defensive backs. Otherwise, in the 2-4-5, they put 2 down linemen where they're closer together, kind of. Then you have your 4 linebackers, who's kind of like 2 lined up on the inside, 2 on the outside, and you got your 5 defensive backs. So outside linebackers is a big need because of the way we use them, and I think someone to go with Kennard would help out. Christian Jones is solid. They gave him a little bit of an extension, I believe. He's solid, but after that, it kind of goes down. Stephen Longa, I do like Reese Maven, but he just hasn't had the opportunity, so maybe he's not there yet. Anthony Pittman, Sam, I definitely think you need another talent to go there. It doesn't have to be your highest priority. It doesn't have to be a huge free agent. It could be like a mid-round pick, but you got to get something there. Or you could go high. If you get Josh Uche, then yes, it's not the highest need, but it helps a lot for the whole defense because Uche and Kennard would be pretty nice. I'm just saying, with how much we use them, honestly, you can move outside linebacker way up this list. Wide receiver is up next. They're really not in any order, but wide receiver is up next. And really, it's just Danny Amendola. That's all it is because Danny Amendola in this situation is not re-signed. So you're with Galladay, Jones, Fulgham, Hall, Lacey. I like all these guys. Hall, I think, could be your 3. Potentially, Hall could be your number 3. Otherwise, though, I don't love it. I mean, Travis Fulgham hasn't shown us that much. He's been very consistent, even though I have high hopes for him and he's young, so maybe. Chris Lacey, another question mark. Jonathan Duhart, yeah, not really. So I think you either need to bring Amendola back or you definitely need to go get a 3rd or at least a 4th. Maybe you put Hall at the 3 and get at least a 4th, okay? Or someone to compete with Travis Fulgham. Next up, running back, Kerryon Johnson. Maybe you get a replacement. That's really all this is. I don't think you need to go get a lot of depth here. Ty Johnson and Bo Scarborough are both solid running backs they've shown. You do have Trey Carson, who's solid. I really don't think it's that big of a need unless you want to go get an absolute talent, like a freak talent. Maybe you get rid of Kerryon Johnson. Maybe you trade him, get any kind of pick and return, maybe even potentially a player. Get a pick and return. Save not like no money at all, and then maybe go draft like a high running back potentially if you trade back with the Dolphins, you get Jonathan Taylor. I don't know who said that. Who said that? I did. Okay, something like that, where you go get another free agent. It's not your biggest need though. Tight end next, just really depth maybe. Hockenson, James, Nauta. I like those three guys. Nauta's gonna be a lot better next season. Maybe a fourth because you're not bringing Logan Thomas back. And then defensive end. Honestly, I don't think defensive end has that many needs. Flowers. And Bryant's going to be back next season, so that's going to be really nice. Deshaun Hand was really good when he was healthy, so hopefully next year he's healthy as well, just like Austin Bryant. So those two guys. Then you have the depth with Bryant and Okwara. That would be nice. And you still have Wynn back there, Jonathan Wynn. So I do think it's solid. You could add a little bit of depth again, like I said. Or you could go with another big talent. I did list talent here, because you could add a guy across from Flowers if you don't think Hand is that great. But really, I don't think it's a huge need. So I think your main needs are O-line and D-line still. I'm still with the trenches. That's still where I think your needs are. But as you guys can see, hopefully this opens up and at least shows you, kind of just explains what I've been trying to say a long time in a lot of my videos, just in an easier way so you guys can kind of understand what I'm looking at. Again, throw out Jeff Driscoll because, quarterback, I put future. Really, all I'm looking at for quarterback is maybe a future guy. If you don't think that's David Blau, then yes, go draft somebody. I do have a good feeling they will draft somebody to compete at least somewhere late. Jeff Driscoll shouldn't be on there. Kyle Sloter, I don't think he's going to be here that long anyways. Now, at the bottom, I did throw a little thing in there where our starting cap, from what I can tell, is $45.8 million right now for the offseason. If you cut Damon Harrison, that would jump up to 52. If you cut Rick Wagner as well, that would jump up to 57.5. Darius Slay, you can't really do because I don't think we'd cut him. We definitely would trade him, try to get some return. That varies, right? If we take on someone else's contract, then we're not saving as much money. However, if we trade him and a team just takes on his contract and gives us some picks, then there would be some dead money, but you'd still be adding more money. So you never know what that's going to look like. I thought I would just throw it at the bottom. That way you guys get a good feeling. If you guys want to see a part 2, I guess, where I talk about some prospects, let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, hopefully this helped out a little bit. Thank you, Prep, for watching, and I am out.